Good. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We have people online. Thank you for joining us. We have people in person. It's always great to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. For getting out of the house. My name is David Checo. I'm the Director of Development for the Denver Area Council. Been a popcorn advisor for 3 or 4 years as well. Today we're going to hear from Chuck Pattison, our Trails End representative of Sale, our popcorn company.
Appreciate it. That's very nice.
Charlie Bonnet, our popcorn admin, really the guru of popcorn. Are we good, Charlie?
Yeah, if you can speak a little louder.
A little louder, sure.
Yeah.
Where's the microphone? Is it on your computer?
I believe so.
Okay. I will talk loud. If you can't hear me, just let me know, and I hope I'm not shouting in person. So we'll go through a couple things. I really want to give an overview of what we're going to talk about. If you have questions, type them into the chat. If it's relevant, immediately Charlie's going to interrupt me, or Chuck, or we'll interrupt Charlie when he's talking. We'll answer him. We will get to all of them at the end. As we found out last week, we did miss a few. And so if we do miss yours, just speak up. Unmute yourself online or in person, raise your hand, of course, and speak up. We'll get to you all the questions tonight. We're going to get done in an hour. We're going to stick to that. So throughout the webinar today, we're going to talk about why we sell popcorn, for the benefit not only to units, council, but also to the scouts. It's something we don't talk about a lot, is the actual benefit to our youth outside of monetary issues. We're going to talk an update from Trails End on the new exciting things, the webinars, the storefront, scheduling, the leader portal. We're going to talk about the highlights of the popcorn sale, things that have changes with timelines, commissions, products, prizes, all of that fun stuff. Return policy. We are accepting some returns again this year, so that's exciting to get more popcorn out there. So we'll go ahead and jump ahead to why popcorn. Why do we sell popcorn? There's a lot of different reasons here. The most obvious is funding. It takes money to have a good scouting program. There's no question there. If you want to go camping, you want to buy a Pinewood Derby track, that all takes money. And then rather than asking your parents, a scout pays his own way or her way. And that's so important to teach that responsibility, right? There's character development, there's awesome rewards. Those are all great things for the unit. It also helps our council provide better camping facilities, employees that are there, trainings to help our adult leaders provide a better program. Those are all very, very important. Here, we talk about the benefits kind of for scouts. It's that personal growth, watching a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old go out and approach adults for the first time and learn how to have a conversation. Hear no. I think that's very, very important. I see a lot of units do a no challenge. See how many no's you can get. It encourages the kids to keep asking, because hearing no a few times is very frustrating, right, for a little kid. And so it's very important that we teach them that rejection is okay. You're not going to hear yes every time, but it's that perseverance that we go through to get that next yes. There's obviously business ethics, money management, becoming goal setters and achieving those goals are all very important character development skills that we teach in Scouting. And then the other part is that popcorn equals program. I kind of hinted that there earlier, but we've seen a lot of units use popcorn to pay for yearly membership dues, to pay for uniforms, patches, awards, camping trips, your blue and gold, Pinewood Derbies. The more money a unit has and they manage that money properly, the better program you're going to have, the better retention you're going to have, the more leadership development you're going to get throughout that entire scouting season. And so what we've kind of seen is that if each scout sells $1,000 in popcorn and a random, you get 35% commission pretty easily with that, you're going to have quite a bit of money. And to sell $1,000 in popcorn is about 8 hours of selling. It's about $125 an hour. I will give a couple keys to success, and I'm going to turn it over to Chuck right after this. Chuck has a bunch to talk about the program, about the leader portal, but some 4 points to key success is attend a webinar. If you're new to popcorn sale, or if you're a seasoned veteran, there's always new things happening. attend one of the webinars. They are daily. Trails End is putting them on daily, maybe not Sundays, but almost daily, all the way through August. So I'm sure you can find an hour to fit into your schedule to learn a little bit more directly from Trails End leaders across the country. Build your plan. There's that saying out there, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so if you don't have a plan on what you want to do and your goals and how you're going to hit it, you're not going to hit it. So make sure you have a plan and write it down and share it. Share it out with people so all your families are bought in. Invite your scouts, invite everyone. Even if they've never sold, the family just writes a check. Invite them to go out and teach them about why we sell popcorn. It's not just about the pack, it's about the bigger scouting community. And then a high energy kickoff. It's so important to present your plan, get your buy-in, do scout training, have scouts practice on your parents, go around. Call Charlie. He might be willing to take some phone calls and see how scouts present to him. And then get all your scouts registered right away that first night. If everyone downloads the app on their phone, you don't have to get questions when someone arrives at the storefront to sell when they haven't downloaded the app quite yet. So those are all very important. We'll take questions on those or provide examples if you ever need a kickoff example. A lot of that stuff is on the Trails End website as well. PowerPoint slides, examples of good kickoffs, rewards, things like that are all there for resources you can download directly. So I'm going to turn it over to Chuck Bass. I think I saw his name online earlier. Chuck, you on? Are you hearing us?
Yes, I am here. Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Chuck is our sales rep and popcorn extraordinaire with Trails End. He's been with them for 20 plus years, 20 years, 18 years. How long is it, Chuck?
18, Dave. Thank you.
Incredible. Well, Trails End is a fantastic partner. I shared this last time. It was on one of the slides earlier, but since 1980, Trails End has supported the Boy Scouts of America. And throughout that time, they've donated over $4 billion to support scouting initiatives across our councils. It's pretty incredible. Over 250 councils. And so thank you, Chuck, from the Denver Area Council of being a great partner.
Yep. Thank you, Dave. And thank you to all the unit leaders that are out there. You guys are the ones really that do a lot of the work. And you know, we used to get a lot of feedback from leaders saying, this is a hard job. It's a lot of effort, especially for my pack that sells $35,000, let's say. So you got to do some things to help make this easier for us. I'm getting burned out. And that's kind of where the leader portal came from, where the app came from, and the rewards program. All things that leaders were telling us, these are our challenges. These are the things that we spend so much time and effort on. Can you use technology to make it better? And so Dave talked about the webinars that we put on. Again, we have them, they're taped, but they go on. The tape part of the content doesn't change, but they do have 2 to 3 leaders, really successful unit leaders that moderate the question and answer part of the webinar, which starts right after the content tape is over. So their motto is every question asked, every question answered. So they will stay on until the last person has, all the questions are done. So, you can watch the content. If you don't have any questions, you can leave and be done, or you can hear a lot of good suggestions and best practices and questions answered by those folks on those. But they're not long. And I think really they're very important if this is your first year doing this, because we don't want you to get frustrated or spend time that you don't need to be spending on spreadsheets or sign-up sheets for your storefronts or whatever, because you didn't know that the technology was there already to take care of some of that stuff. So we'll get into some of the specifics of it here, but I would really recommend doing a webinar just so you have every question you might have answered, and you can take advantage of the time savings. There are a lot of unit leaders that told us, hey, before the app and the leader portal, compared to afterwards, I saved myself about a third to half as much time. And the average unit colonel spends, they tell us, about 70 hours on the sale from start to finish. And if you could save, 25 to 30 hours of your time, I would assume you'd say, yeah, let's do it. So that's my best suggestion right there is the webinars. Next slide, please. Okay, this is just the web page that shows you where there are. There are 2 different kinds of webinars, the new colonel training, and then there's the returning colonel webinar. So obviously the latter, there's more advanced topics discussed. And in the first one, the new colonel training, it's a lot of the basic stuff, how to use the system, how to make sense of it, and how to use it for your benefit. All right, these are our 4 key pillars that we we spend a lot of time talking about and trying to communicate to unit leaders, scouts, scout families. The Trails End app, which I'll get into more in a second, but that's, again, I want you to know that's a point of sale tool for the scout and the scout's parent. It's not what leaders use. The leaders use the Trails End leader portal, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. The Trails End Rewards program is the prize program. And from feedback of leaders saying, I don't like these physical prizes, and dealing with them and inventorying them and delivering them to the scouts, we'd like the Amazon program because you can get almost anything at Amazon. And so that's that program. The Trails End Online is just simply the way of selling to out-of-state family, friends, relatives that want to support you without the scout or parent having to pay to ship it. And then the Trails End Communities is the Facebook group mainly, where we have, I think, 13,000 leaders from across the country right now on the main leader group. We also have a scout parents group, and also a troop leaders group with smaller numbers of members. But the point of the Facebook communities is so that we can answer questions and get help to people who need it right away. You don't have to wait till the office opens in the morning, or somebody will return an email if it's late at night. If you have a question or a problem or an obstacle, the idea would be for you to post it, and within minutes you'll have 5, 6, 7 other leaders from around the country that have already had that same issue or obstacle and how they got around it. So it's supposed to be good support on answers, technology answers, but also best practices, and we share a lot of good ideas on that board too. Okay, so the leader portal I mentioned is the place that you as unit leaders administrate your sale. You manage everything from there, all in one spot. You obviously order your popcorn there. You submit your rewards, your prize orders for all of your scouts. You can set goals for the units, for the unit or the scouts themselves individually. You invite the scouts to register. Dave touched on that. That's what I would highly recommend. And you can see your sales real time if your parents and scouts are using the app. And so that's probably my biggest piece of advice to you, is to encourage your families to use the app as the point of sale tool to keep track of all their transactions. I had a unit leader that said, look, I normally have 30 scouts that sell, and by the end of the sale, I get some scouts that filled up 3, 4, 5 sheets. So I didn't get just 30 order forms at the end. I would get 75, 80. And it seems like a lot of them did not add up correctly. It would say 10 small caramel corns at the bottom, but I would only find nine instances of where they actually sold that. And the money didn't seem to add up, and on and on. So if you encourage your families to use the app, then they don't turn in forms to you at the end. You just simply see what their sales are. You see how much was in credit cards, which Trails End pays for all the credit card fees. You see how much was in cash that they need to turn into you. You see how much was done online, and so on and so forth. If you check out $100, or let's say every scout you check out $200 of product to, well, you'll be able to see that Johnny has sold, all but $20 of it, and Mikey over here hasn't sold any. And if you need to, move product between scouts, instead of calling the council and saying, I think we're out of product, when you're really not, can we get some more? That's how you'll be able to see that real time, how your scouts are doing with their sales. The last part is you can do storefront sales from there, and that's what we're going to get into now. You can set up the storefronts, decide how you want the shifts to be, whether they're an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, how many scouts you want to allow to work at that shift, whether it's just 1 scout or 2 or 3. And you can decide also how you want the money split up among the scouts. So there's different methods for that, and it's all taken care of there. And the thing that I think is really cool about the storefront part in the leader portal is that leaders would tell us they would spend hours and hours on a Sunday evening, let's say, reconciling the product that would come back and how much of it was sold and the money. And now they see that it's all done for them, as long as the scouts use the app to do their transactions. So what used to take hours, was taking them, almost no time at all. So we've been doing this program for a few years now, actually booking the stores for the unit leaders and then making them available to unit leaders to just pick. So we've done all the work of contacting the store manager and providing the certificate of insurance and explain how it would work, and on and on and on. We did this in 2017 for the first time with 1 council just to try it, and we learned a lot of things. In 2018, it was really pretty good. In 2019, it was really good. We did it with about 10 councils in 2019. Now, 2020, obviously, and 2021, it's been a difficult year because a lot of these stores are simply just not, they're not ready to commit. They're telling us they can't commit or give a commitment that we could go out and sell in front of their store because of COVID, or their regional office or their national office is saying, yeah, we're not going to allow anybody out in front of the store selling this year. So we had a goal of having about 40,000 hours booked for unit leaders to pick in Denver Area Council, and we ended up with a little over 20,000. I think it was 23,000 hours. So some of these stores, especially the King Soopers, told us, we just can't give you a commitment yet that we can allow scouts to sell out in front of our stores. So they did say, it may be August, it may be early September when we'll know. And if we find out that they're okay to do it, we will put them into the system so that you can pick them then at that point. In the meantime, if you really have a King Soopers or a Walmart that you like, that you want to sell in front of, that you always do in normal years, you're free to go over there to talk with them yourselves. And I think sometimes maybe if they see somebody in person and with a scout uniform on, maybe they're more likely to say yes than to somebody that's calling them over the phone. But I'm disappointed we didn't get as many hours. We felt like we really advertised this program to Dave, the council, and some of the unit leaders as something that was going to really help them out and take a lot of time and effort off of their plates. But the bottom line is we just have had so many stores, especially the King Soopers, that said, we're sorry, we're just not ready to give you a commitment to allow it. Now, how it would work for the stores that are in there, and this has already started. So if you've been doing this, then you already know. But if you haven't and you want to do some storefronts, here's how it works. In the leader portal, there is storefront reservations, and that's where you go to see the available stores and the dates and the shifts that are available. Then you can pick them, and it just flows right into your system, your leader portal, and then you can decide again, how long you want the shifts to be, how many scouts are available to work at each shift. And then the scouts and parents can just choose the shifts they want straight from the app. And then they show up to work. So it's all done through the leader portal. Again, it's supposed to make it easier for you. And I guess the only regret is that we just didn't get as many store hours as we wanted.
And it looks like we just have one question about storefront since we're on it. It's just if it's King Soopers is in the portal, available to register, does that mean they're confirmed available?
Yeah, that's a good, thanks for bringing that up. Not every single King Soopers. I think there are 113 in the Denver Area Council boundaries. Not all of them said, no, we aren't going to commit to allowing you to sell in front of our store. There were a few of them that kind of, the store managers, marched to the beat of their own drum, and they said it was okay. So there are some in there. It's just that we know King Soopers is the predominant grocery store chain in the area. It's the most popular choice for unit leaders to want to sell in front of, and a lot of those 113 said our district manager or management or our corporate has said no. If it says do not call in there, that means that we called them and they said, yes, we are. I'm sorry. They said, no, we are not going to allow it this year. So tell your folks not to, ask again. If it says available to call, that's usually a situation where our people called and they said, well, I'm not sure yet. Why don't you call me back at the end of July? And we ran out of time because at some point we had to say, unit leaders, here is the list that we have because you guys want to go book your stores and get ahead of this curve. And so at some point we had to go with the ones that we had. But there were a number of them that just said, call me back and I'll be able to give you a better answer or a better idea down the road. So those you could obviously call and ask or go see in person. Okay, the app. Once again, the app is only for scouts, not for leaders. But it does save the scouts a lot of time because they can do storefront sales through there. They can do wagon sales. They can even do online sales from the app. It tracks their sales for them. It tracks where they are relative to the goal that they would have put in. They can ask all of their previous online sales purchasers or supporters with one click. They can start a campaign that asks them, and I'll get into that in a second, called auto share. They can take credit cards from consumers, obviously, which most people nowadays don't have much cash on them, and people tend to spend more when they use a credit card. But sometimes it's the only way they can pay, so you don't get the sale if you're not able and ready to take a credit card. You can use readers for those that just swipe the credit card, or you can type the number in. There is no fee at any instance that the unit leaders or the scouts have to pay, or the council. It's all paid by Trails End. We worked with Square to build our processing part of the app. So that's why, we use the Square readers, and it works real well. We did make the interface a little bit easier. Fewer clicks to do a transaction. We did the text order cart feature. So if you're standing at somebody's porch and they're inside and they say, I don't want to give you my credit card to swipe, you can actually text the cart of the item that they want, and they'll get the text, and then they can input their credit card number and hit done, and that completes the sale. So we listen to people who say, we sell a lot of popcorn. Here are some things that would make the app even better. And the more times we hear the same things, those are the ones that our development group, puts into the new releases of the app. Next slide, please. Okay, I kind of covered this, but we encourage people to say, we prefer credit cards because you may not know this, but if your unit checks out, let's say $10,000 worth of popcorn, you owe the council, whatever less your commission, so $6,500, let's say. The more that your scouts use, take credit cards, and the more that you do online sales, we give you the commissions because the money comes to us from the consumer's credit card company, but we've got to give it back to you. So what we do is we reduce the amount you owe the council. And so the more you guys use credit cards, your scouts take credit cards, the more that balance that's due to the council gets reduced. And this last year, there were a lot of units that we simply had to pay them money. I mean, they didn't owe the council anything. But there's other reasons too. I mean, it's safer, scouts and popcorn kernels don't have to handle cash and really don't want to. We have had a lot of unit leaders say, look, I go into the bank on Monday morning with, $4,000 in cash, and people look at me like, what are you doing with that money? And parents can even, if they want to, they can pay the unit leader for what they owe for their scout sales directly from the app, but with a credit card, and they don't have to drive the cash over and checks over to the unit leader. So there's a number of good reasons. They'll talk about a lot of them in the webinar, but we also have short videos too that can on almost every subject. Go ahead, Charlie. Okay, online direct. This was really big last year because people didn't want to necessarily go to door or open up their doors to scouts who would come out and sell. And storefronts obviously did not allow nearly as many scouts to sell last year as they would have in a normal year. So you can sell online directly from the app, whether it's to out-of-state family or friends or relatives, or if it's somebody that you go door to door with that wants a product that's only available online, you can start an online sale from the app and do it that way. That they would have to use a credit card to pay for it, and they'd have to put in their shipping address so that we know where to ship the product. But there are a number of units that's the only way they sold last year. There's a unit in Omaha that sold almost $30,000 strictly this way. And the unit leader said she really liked it because she didn't have to go pick up any product from the council. She didn't have families come into her house to check out product all the time. And, that's just suited her. So anyway, the auto share function that you see the picture on the right, it's just a way to ask all your previous online only purchasers, whether you did it through the website or you did it through the app, to buy again. We had a lot of scouts that did $500,000, $700,000, $800,000 online last year. And this is designed to kind of ask all those people to support them again, from the scouts couch. I mean, they don't even have to leave the house. Okay, next slide, please. So again, to sum this up, there's two ways that the app works for a scout when they're selling. They can, for online direct, I should say, there's two ways. They can share their page from the app, because that's how most people do their social media these days. They do it from their phone. They don't do it from a desktop computer or a laptop. So you can share your page straight from the app, or you can take online orders in the app itself and have the consumer, give you their credit card number and their shipping address, and Trails End ships the product to them. Or you can text the cart to the consumer, and they can put in their credit card number and the shipping address and complete the sale that way. Okay. So I've covered auto share, but here's a couple. We leave this slide up here for just a couple seconds. You can see some screenshots that explain it. For one, you would select the type of campaign that you want to have auto share do, which again, you could have it say, I want to ask everybody that purchased from me last year just one time. You could have it ask them, 2 or 3 times over the course of however long you want it to be, whether it's a week or 3 weeks. The scouts that sell a lot online, like I'm talking $5, $8, $10,000. What they tell us is they ask their consumers, the people, to support them with an online purchase. But the number one thing that they say that brings success is that they go back and ask the folks that did not yet buy from that first ask to buy again. So that's why we have the multiple sort of campaign approach there if you want. You don't have to, you can just do a one-time ask if you want. And then you can upload your contacts from your phone if you want to, and deselect the ones that you don't want the email to go to, or the text to go to. So some people said, I want to be able to upload my contacts from my phone. Some other people said, I don't want to do that. And you don't have to, obviously. It's just there as a function if you want to.
So Chuck, it looks like we have one question.
Hey, Charlie.
Is the app available in both English and Spanish? Does it have a language option?
It does not have a Spanish option right now. I'll pass that along, but I don't know what that would entail as far as the development and of the code and everything. So I just don't know.
Okay. And then the other one is, can the auto share exclude people from the repeated messages after they purchased?
Yeah, I believe that you can then go in at any point in time and deselect anybody that would be in a ongoing campaign. So if, on that screen right there, you see Gary Moore as an example. If Gary Moore buys, you see that, you can go into auto share and then deselect Gary from any future, asks. I don't think that it does it automatically. I don't think it's quite that intelligent to know that if a purchase is made by that person, to remove them.
Yeah.
What's the shipping cost going to be for the online director? Are we going to play that game in the order?
Okay. All right. So last year, we had a shipping threshold at different thresholds at different points in time. I think your council was one of the ones that really was similar the whole time. You guys did a test for that. But right now, we are giving more back in commission to scouting than we did last year when we asked councils to pay the shipping costs for those that bought less than $35, I believe, $30 or $35. So we're giving more of the commission back to the unit leaders. I'm sorry, to the councils, but we're then we raised the threshold for which you would get free shipping, so that we can make it work financially. Quite honestly, we're already subsidizing the cost a little bit with our third-party logistics person, or company, I should say, which processes hundreds of thousands of these orders, and they pick the products and they package them, and then you got to pay the freight. So right now it's at $55. Any order over $55 gets free shipping. Any order under $55 would have a shipping cost. That could change to $40, $45. I think it's probably going to go a little lower because we're going to see that we won't have as many sales online as we did last year. But the average sale, keep in mind, last year was $61 nationally. So it's below what the average sale is.
He said 2 thumbs up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chuck. Chuck's going to stick around, I think. Chuck?
Yeah, I'll stick around. If I see any questions in the queue that are Trails End related, I'll answer them right now, or as we go.
I appreciate that, Chuck. Again, we appreciate our partnership, everything that you're doing to help at least listen to my complaints. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
No problem, Dave. Thank you.
Before I bring up Charlie, so everyone can see who Charlie Botnick is, he's the most famous person for popcorn in the Denver Area Council by far. I want to give away 2 door prizes. You don't have to be here in person to get this door prize. Our attendees online are also eligible. So to thank you for everything you're doing and taking time out of your night, we're going to give away 4 Amazon gift cards tonight digitally. And so if your name is
Amazon or Scout Shop.
Amazon or Scout Shop, it's your decision. $25. So I'm going to randomly select some names off of this list that Charlie's going to hand me. A list of all the people that are attending tonight. So when I go like this and look at the crowd, and who's registered, I'm going to stop right here. Timothy Johnson, pack 999. Thank you for being here tonight and everything you do for scouting. And then I'm going to go to the back of the page here. Go ahead and send your email over to Charlie DM and let him know if you want a Scout Shop or a Amazon gift card. And the next one is Ben Coffey. with troop 537 in Alpine. Do the same thing. DM Charlie or the Denver Area Council log in there. Thank you for everything you do for scouting and being here tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Charlie. He's going to talk about some of the logistics of the sale, timelines, commissions, popcorn product, if he wants to. We'll let him talk as long as he wants. He's in charge.
Oh, gosh. Oh,
I've got a babysitter, so take your time.
fair enough. Hi, guys. I'm Charlie. I have been with Popcorn for this is my second year now. Last year, some of you may have known me, but I'm mainly here for your support. Whether it is the app, whether it is information, whether it is materials, literally anything you need Popcorn, come my way. I will help you. We're expecting a great year. I'm excited for a good year. This week's already been a lot of Popcorn emails, so keep emailing me, and you're not alone. I'm always here to help. So, taking a look at the trailer, the Popcorn schedule for the next couple of months, you can see we had 2 orientations, July 13th and the 21st, and webinar started in June. When we look a little bit ahead, about 2 weeks, we have August 9th. Now that's when the first unit orders are due. That is big order. It's the first one. If you need help figuring out the orders, things like that, come to me. Then we have Popcorn distribution, August 27th and August 28th. I'm currently working on a newsletter, a little bit more information on the district sites, the distribution sites. So just be on the lookout for that newsletter. So for that, it is the 27th and 28th. So then we start all over again, September 13th. That is the second replenishment order deadline. Again, September 13th, their second order. Yeah, what's up?
You know, the deadline, is it like midnight, 11 p.m., 10 p.m. in Central Time, Pacific Time? That's the,
You know, I work 8 to 5,
No.
so any time during that day is fine, honestly.
The popcorn order will be midnight of
Okay.
whatever the deadline
The
is.
distribution site, wasn't it usually at American Furniture Warehouse on 92nd?
I believe so. We're still just kind of working out. I know we have Grand Junction we have figured out, and then I believe, and Dave can correct me, we have the Westminster one, the American Furniture Warehouse.
It's
Yes.
always been there.
Yes, so we have that one.
Don't confuse me here, because that's where we know we're.
Fair enough, that is right. So we do have a couple, but we're still just trying to figure out if we get a couple more. But yes, you're all set, it's that one. September 24th and the 25th is the distribution for the second order. Again, we will bring out more information for that. And then we got October 21st and October 22nd. This is when we have popcorn returns. Now, we'll get into it a little bit with the bonus commission, how that affects everything. But for popcorn returns, we are taking bulk, not just individual things. So if you have the bulk, even if it's open and you still have the bulk, which is what word am I looking for? Not the bulk. Completed orders, thank you. Not just a box with missing, if they're supposed to be 15, we want 15.
Full cases.
Full cases, there's the word. It's been a long day. Yeah, so for that popcorn returns, we're expecting full cases. If it's open, that's fine, but we're just expecting the full case. October 25th, deadline for units to place that final order. Now, I know that seems a little bit far away, but August is right around the corner, so these months are just coming and coming. And this is also on our website. We got a question about, are we gonna send anything? We'll send up a follow-up email tomorrow with the presentation, the leader's guide, the materials request. I will make sure that everyone in this chat gets all that information. So yeah, tomorrow I will follow up with everybody. November 5th and 6th, that's the council popcorn distribution. Again, just, keep it on your calendar, keep it on your schedule. And then finally, December 3rd, all money needs to be into the Denver Area Council paid in full. Kind of basically how it says it, we just need it by December 3rd. I think last year we did amazing, so we'll just keep it up. Perfect.
It was all online.
Exactly, it's easier online. Now, unit commissions, if you're used to this, we've changed a little bit, we'll go over it, but basically, Units can earn up to 37% commission for the traditional popcorn sale. Bonus commission is given in December, only if units have settled their account by that December 3rd. So we'll work with you, but we're just trying to make sure that December 3rd is that final date. So once we go into it a little bit, that traditional, the base commission is 30%. You get that, great job.
I didn't even have to show up to this and get 30%.
No, that was actually camp cards. But yes, we appreciate you being here anyways though. For the bonus, the 2020 club, that is, you just have to do one of the 3 things I'm about to list to be in the 2020 club. And that's if a unit sells over $20,000 of popcorn in 2021, 20% increase in total popcorn sales from the 2020 amount, or a new unit to the popcorn sales. So did not participate in the 2020 popcorn sales. One of those 3, you can get the 5% base or bonus commission. And again, this is all on the website. We'll share that link to you. And then finally, we got that 2% bonus commission. Now, this bonus commission is for 0 returns. So if you don't return anything, you get that 2%. We're only allowing 5% maximum this year for returns. Of course, if there's things, you can talk to me, but we got a long way ahead for that. So 2% bonus commission, 0 returns, and then you get a 35% flat commission given all direct to consumer. So if you're just straight online direct, have nothing, show and sell, anything like that, you get 35%. So that is our kind of explaining the commissions. Again, it goes into a little bit more detail on the website, which I'll send out. But you know, again, I'm here if you need anything. You need to know first step, where to go. We're going to be my life for the next 4 months. So. Not in there, but I have cards. So I got you.
Yeah, and I have your card, so you're getting your card.
Perfect. Yeah.
Start with rate. We already,
For materials?
for the popcorn.
For popcorn, I believe.
August 9th is the deadline for the first order. It'll open up here in the next week.
And then for materials, if you've already ordered those, we're just waiting on the late period. I'm getting those out at the end of the month, so it's almost the end of the month, so we'll get there.
What material?
We have leaders guides, we have sales guides, and we also have laminated forms of all the popcorn. So, yeah,
How do we word this?
I will send the link out tomorrow to follow up. But basically, it's just a survey. You fill it out, and then yeah, at the end of the month, I'll be starting to sell those out. Either we can do it by mail or in person. So either way works for you.
We have 2 questions
Okay.
here that are relevant. Alex asks, so if I return 1 item, we don't get the 2%, correct?
I'll put my popcorn box on that one.
Yes, that is the correct answer, Alex. It's a 0 or nothing type of policy as a bonus to not drive to American Furniture Warehouse and return 1 case of popcorn. Just go sell it, hopefully. Do online sales count towards the 2020 totals?
I believe so, yes. Yes, everything will count to the 2020.
Yeah, absolutely they do. And then Dan asked, did I hear that we are limited to a 5% max? And I'll go ahead and take over here. This is a fun topic. Outwardly, I'm going to say yes, you're limited to 5%. But we know if you return 7%, we're not going to turn it down. If you return 10%, I hope you have called me 2 weeks before that and said, I have all this popcorn, I don't know what to do with it. Can you help me get rid of it? And we're going to say, absolutely, bring it to the council. I have 4 units that need it today because their sale is going correct. Great. Then we take that off your initial order. Then it won't actually count towards your overall returns most of the time. And if you're not on the Popcorn DAC forum on Facebook, it is one of the best places to trade popcorn with other units that are looking for it. So, and that also does not count against returns. And so there are times throughout the sale we're going to ask people, and as long as you're using the app, we can track what you're selling as well and see what inventory you have. If I need some of it and you're not selling it, we'll reach out and say, hey, I need 10 of these cases because I have units that are out. And hopefully you'll work with us to bring it back. And we'll reward you guys for that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions on that?
No, I think we're all good.
Perfect. I hope that answered it. In the end, we're going to work with everybody. This is a volunteer role for 99% of the people involved with it. 99.9% of them probably. We don't want you to stress out about popcorn. We want it to be fun. We want it to be fun for the scouts. It's such a good learning opportunity. If you are communicating with us, we're going to work with you. That's all we can do. We want you to have fun. John.
Chocolate's still on the no return list, right?
Chocolate is on the no return list, yes. So,
Order chocolate unless you know you can sell it.
correct. Good transition. Oh, one more question, Rita.
There's some items that aren't here, that are not on here, that is on the online direct.
Correct.
If somebody wants something that comes in here that they know that they want, I know it's on
Sure.
online.
Let's talk about that. So this here, the slide that's up is the traditional product sale. These are the things that we are going to be able to get in person immediately in August, except for the chocolatey pretzels. The chocolatey pretzels will not come in August. We are working with Chuck and Trails End to see if we can maybe get them in September. 100% we'll have them for the take order in November. Yes. And so we're working with Chuck to see if we can get them earlier. The problem is when they ship them from their distributor or their manufacturer, if they're not shipping them in a refrigerated truck, they're going in that. And as good as a chocolatey pretzel ball sounds, it doesn't sell as well as you might think it does.
I've had one go, and actually I had
So-
a guy buy it because he says he's gonna chop it up and use it.
Yeah.
We actually had one person buy it.
So products, a couple new products this year. Sweet and savory replaced the cheese lovers. That is a white cheddar and a salted caramel in one box, $40. Chocolatey pretzels are back, so that's exciting. And then the $20 kettle corn ready to eat product is officially out now. So that'll be the first time that we have it. They were supposed to launch it last year, and Trails End did not because of the pandemic. So I'm excited to see how this one sells. There will be no microwave kettle corn, but there is microwave unbelievable butter again. I think that's the only changes. Did I miss anything there, Chuck?
I don't think so.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say about the products, if I could, Dave, is we had the sweet and savory collection online last year, of course, and we had the cheese lovers online last year. And the sweet and savory did more than double the amount of sales than the cheese lovers did. So we thought it made sense to, make it part of the traditional sale too.
Let's give it a try. Cool. All right. Perfect. And then the online, we don't have a slide for the online products, as the online products will rotate throughout the year. It's kind of what I've been told. So right now, there's some beef jerky on there. There's coffee on there. Trail mix, I'm told.
And then in December, November, they roll out their peppermint bark.
Peppermint bark.
Yeah, we hope the peppermint bark's coming back. I've heard it is. And so
It's
all
really
those
good.
holiday tins are back on during the
Yeah.
holiday season. So keep watching that. Keep sending people back to the online direct sale as often as you can, because it will change. They will run different specials throughout the year as well, different pricing, just to see what's working.
Is there any way that some people that, because it's hard to show that we can get something that's online to show people that what we have online, if they're trying to bring up the phone, that they can show what we can show online. Like
It's
you do
rotating
this.
schedule stuff.
Right,
Mhm.
that we can show besides this and say, hey, this is what we have online, would you want to buy something online? Do you understand besides this?
The moment we print it, it'll be dated. As they rotate those products in and
I
out
know.
sometimes. It's easy for us to go and print something and make it available in a PDF version that you can print at home.
Oh, I tried to do that and couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just
I-
something to.
Let me talk to Chuck about that and see if there is something that they've seen work, and we'll get back. If it is, we'll provide it.
Yeah,
If not,
because
then the
people
best
like-
thing is to pull your iPad out and say, look at all these awesome things
Yeah, it's
online.
going up and then sometimes when you tap it or barely tap it, it's marked as, I'm gonna buy that product. And it's hard to go back. So something we can show them, because we say, hey, this is what you can buy online, copy. And that way they get a chance to say, okay, then let's go online and let's, I wanna buy this and we can ship it straight to you. Do you understand?
Perfect. Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
All right, Trails End Rewards Program. Chuck talked a little bit about this. But again, it's the Amazon program. It's points-based. It's going to be, it saves our unit leaders lots of time and effort, hopefully. It gets the happier scouts to get the prize they want. It comes through their email directly. There's no handling of prizes. And we found that you get a better prize for what we were giving out before, a better value for it. So hopefully that continues. And then, of course, the Facebook groups that we talked about earlier. If you're not on the Trails End one, join it. There's 13,000 popcorn leaders across the country, and they answer questions fast. But the one I really recommend you join is the DAC Popcorn Forum. It's the local one, and it's still run by local leaders. You'll see, if you have a question, before Charlie and I can even get on there, you'll see another colonel answer it for us, which is incredible. And so I appreciate all the people on there monitoring and helping each other out when a scout is about. Helpful.
They do a lot of training in there too, so. If
Yeah.
you're looking for a product that you're missing, that's a good place to go.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, is if you have products you need,
You talk about
post it
this,
there.
happy birthday, Dave.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Alberto. It is my birthday, as Alberto brought out, so I can't think of a better place to spend it than with all these wonderful volunteers.
Happy birthday.
All right, and then, of course, contact information. You got Charlie, he's the point of contact. He's the most responsive. If he doesn't know an answer, he's gonna hunt me down wherever I am in the city, or he's gonna hunt down Trails End. He's really good about that. If they're not answering as well, he has direct lines to myself, to Chuck at Trails End, as well as to all the service people behind the scenes there. So reach out to Charlie. If Charlie has an answer, go ahead and reach out to me, and we'll he's probably on vacation is the other reason.
And if you have a question that's related to the app or the leader portal or something Trails End, especially technology questions, then I would use the support@trails-end.com. If you need somebody to call you, I would put in the email, please call me at this number. And you know that we have a number of people during this sale that are actively working the support line. But we like the email because it creates a ticket that we can track and make sure it gets resolved.
So, Charlie, are there any questions right now in the app?
The only one, Dan just wanted to clarify just the secondary market. He just wanted to make sure last year people with the pandemic, if you touched it, things like that, that's where he was more. A lot of people were concerned. So just, are we worried or?
It's a challenge by choice, I would say. And so obviously we want everyone to be safe. We're not going to ever put anyone purposely in risk. For that, we are allowing full open cases to be returned to us this year. So I know people will take a case and they'll break it open and hand 3 bags to one family, 4 bags to another family. But if you're going to return it, we ask that you make sure that case is full. If there were 8 bags to start, 8 bags need to be in it to return it to us. And so it does sit at American, after returns come in, it sits at American Furniture Warehouse for 2 weeks. And so I feel pretty confident with the, that once it's in there, that, and if there's something on it, that it will not be on it afterwards. So we feel good there. For distribution sites, we are working on a south location still for everyone that's down in Blackfeather or anywhere in South Metro. We have not secured one yet. We have secured the Westminster American Furniture Warehouse, and of course the Western Slope is all secured with our distribution sites. And so as we continue to work on a location down south, if you have a connection to a warehouse down south, please reach out to us. We need it for at least 1 weekend, for about 3 days, and not a ton of space, but I'd love to be able to provide that opportunity down there so people aren't driving to Westminster from Parker. What else am I missing, Charlie?
If you guys want to take your questions, if you want to do the last 2
Oh, yeah,
raffles.
two more raffles, 2 more prizes. Let me get that sheet here.
Yeah, so if you guys want to type your questions, any last minute questions, get them in now.
We'll do 2 more. Get a question. We will email out the slide deck, the video of this, if you need to share it with any of your other co-colonels. It'll include the link to order supplies, our leaders guides, our family guide, the order form, the 4 sheet, as well as laminated forms. If you want those, we'll have those again. If you're in person, we do have family guides you can take with you tonight. And of course, you have the leader guide here on the table, so we'll get those to you here. But let me go ahead and see what I got. Rita. Right there. We'll get you hooked up. Now we're going to do one more off the back of this, right here. Becky Barnes.
Becky
The last
Barnes.
Winner of the night. Thank you again. Thank you for being here in person. Becky, thank you for being online. We appreciate everything our volunteers do. It's incredible to see some new faces, so we appreciate you jumping in right into the popcorn kernel and learning about it. Yes. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Have a great night. I hope everyone has as fun as we do with the popcorn season.